Chudi spoke about creative ways to build efficiencies in your business. And Shola spoke about ideas and things that exist in the environment, so there's no excuse for you not to be creative and working and doing and being and building. I would like to talk a bit more, because I was trying to decide what to share, and I think I would like to share about the artist in everybody. The artist that needs to come out and be free. I'm hoping that the artists here, whether it's an artist that does it part-time, or you're thinking about being an artist, or you're thinking about how to balance the work you're doing with being an artist, being a creative. Creativity is the ability to make new things or to come up with new ideas. And but I want to talk about the person that, or the part of the person that decides to be a creative fully. So I can only begin by talking about my life. And I was born in Lagos, in Onikan, Lagos, Nigeria, not far from Racecourse, Island Maternity. And at the age of 3 or so, we left Nigeria because of the Civil War. Yes, I was born before the Civil War. And moved to Ghana. And in Ghana, I went to kindergarten, and I remember one day at 4.5 years old, they gave everybody animals to draw. And I drew my animal, and then the teachers started calling another teacher passing, come and see this, and then several teachers gathered around to look at my rabbit. And that's one of my first memories. And I realized then that perhaps, because they weren't looking at anybody else's animals, that perhaps there's something here. It's not that I woke up one day and said I wanted to become a creative. This was something that was handed from my creator. And I was looking, why are they talking about my own rabbit? At first I thought I had done something wrong. Then I started hearing the comments. By the time I was in St. Mary's at Ajele, I was drawing for the class, and they were pulling me out of other classes to draw for art class, because the teacher thought art class was you copy something on the blackboard and everybody else draws that. That was our art class. And so Ifeoma would draw it, so you pull her out. And so I was missing social studies and all these other classes to do art class, and maybe that's why I'm not good in some other subjects. But this went on in my life, and by the time I was at Holy Child, I was, I could see that I was an artist. But my environment was not supportive of art at all. Because in Nigeria, everybody wanted you to be a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant or something else. So that's my time, and we're lucky now that artists, if you are an actor, you were an ashewo basically if you were a girl, and there were many things that didn't work about a young person growing up saying there's something in me that wants to be an artist. And so when you see artists today, when you meet people like Joke Silva, you realize that, wow, that took a hell of a lot of courage. And you will find in their story, it's either a fight through, or they had a parent or an auntie or a father or a grandmother that said, don't mind them, Joe. You're a choir person. Sing. And you need that encouragement. So I want to talk about that because it's still going on today. Now I find moms come to me and say, oh, my daughter is studying in England and she wants to be an actress. And I say, oh, yeah, times have changed, because my mother or people's at my time, they didn't go around and say, my daughter wants to be on Africa Magic and do, this kind of thing. That was just not what people aspired to do. And now there's all this computer creating and animation and all kinds of things in Nigeria, and so the possibilities are endless. But I think what I want to talk about is responsibility. Responsibility to your artist self. Can you live your whole life and not answer the artist part in you? If you can, then you're probably not an artist. Like, you're not a creative. Creativity ranges. There are some people that are complete weary creative, like they are gone. You know, I'm kind of one of those people. Like, if I don't make something new every week, I feel like, you know, the world is coming down on me and Nigeria is not working. And my brain just does it. I can't stop making things in my head. But then, you know, they're and maybe that's not even good for great business. There are creatives who are working on teams, and we've talked about collaboration and how to make things work. I think today what I want to talk about and I want to answer questions is, how do you get the courage? And is it hard? Yes. Let's break the myth. To be a Joke Silva is very difficult. To be a painter, you know, Benewonwu or Bruce Onobrakpaya is extremely, you know. I grew up as a child. I met Joke Silva when I was 10 or 11. And we had to choose in Holy Child a club, after school club. And I was wandering around Fairyland, which is this open space in Holy Child, trying to decide what club to join. Is it choir? Is it cooking? Whatever, whatever. And they said, oh, there's a drama club. And I raced over there, and there were like 6 girls. And there was one, she looked exactly like Joke Silva looks now. She hasn't changed. Talking to this group, nobody had assigned her as the leader of the group. You know, she was like in Form 4, and I was in Form 3, and I was in Form 1, and, you know, and she just started bossing everybody around. This is how we do drama. You know, you come up with this, you will be the villagers, you will be this, you know. And I was like, why is she in charge, you know? But I went along because there's seniority, right? And she never chose me for anything because I think she thought, who wants a mixed race person, you know, to be the villager? Is not going to work, you know. So I just kind of waited, and it didn't happen. And I found my own level, as you can see now. So, but was I really in theater? No. I was telling you about me drawing. And I think that's the thing about creative people, is you want to problem solve. You want to make things. You might find you're the crazy person who every week you have a new idea. Am I an actress? Maybe I make films. Maybe I'm designing animation. Maybe I'm a blogger. Maybe I'm a, you know. What it is you want to express. And that's the part that I want to bring out, that I want to encourage you to hold and celebrate. And despite the criticism or the fact that there's no money, to say, you know what, I will do it. And it takes work and it takes courage. Because for you to stand in front of people and say, this is what I am. I'm a dancer. Or I'm a photographer. Or I just made a good friend now who has this big position in a job, but she's a photographer. You know, what is it that makes you come to this place today? And are you fully engaged? And that's the responsibility. Responsibility to yourself and your gift. Responsibility to God if you're religious. That you are given this thing. It's not that it's just showing up for no reason. If you honestly are a person who's not doing it because you like, see the lifestyle of those ladies, you know, in the movie 50, or, you know, see I want to do that because I meet young women all the time, like, hey, Mrs. Fafunwa, I want to, you know, and then you say, okay, yeah, go do this, and they're like, you know, no. Do you really have the calling? Do you really need to paint? Do you really want to make music? And you will find that at the end of that, there's a spiritual element because you have to share the gift. It is that gift that I want to talk about now. It's not the gift you are given. It's the gift that you want to give to your country, to your community, to your children, to your town, to the future of Nigeria, to the world. What is your gift that you want to give out? And once you know that the reason why you have that feeling to be an artist or to be creative is because there's something inside you that God wants you, and I'm not religious, sorry. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Yeah. That there's something in you that you want to give that is nagging. You have the responsibility to make it happen in your lifetime and to give it out to your country, to your world, to your children, to yourself. Because otherwise it's that thing, you know, and it just keeps following you. If the thing doesn't follow you, it's okay, leave it. Because being a creative is a very hard place to be. You endure criticism, you are worried about judgment, there may be no money, there's no time. Buchi Emecheta was waking up at 4 o'clock to write her book from 5 to 6, to then wake her family up at 6 o'clock. So the question I then ask is, what is it that will make you get up every morning 1 hour earlier for the rest of your life? And when you can answer that question, that is what they call purpose. If it's not art, it's not art. But if it's to get up, I have to get up every morning, even if it's just to exercise. I will get up every morning to jog because I want to be the fittest person I can be and bounce and not need him to help you up the stairs, right? You know, and bounce around and just express living and life. That's purpose. So as an artist, you ask the same question. Do I want to get up every morning and write? Do I want to write poems? Do I want to write a novel? That's what I want to talk about today. For me, by the time I was 16, at 14, I won an art competition which took me to America and, you know, blah, blah, Andrew Young. And then 17, and then I graduated from Holy Child, and I was miserable in secondary school. I was miserable. I was the person looking for the other weirdo, that two of us would cling ourselves together and talk about, you know, how, you know, don't mind them, you know, that kind of thing. You know, that one has Lee jeans, this one, you know, because I didn't fit in. My spirit was not, there was not enough in my school to engage me and make me something. The debating team, the fine girls, the girls with the nice bag and, you know, clothes, the Alaja's daughters with the big vats of rice and bomo fried and whatnot. You know, I didn't have my own thing because to be an artist was not it. Now, how did I discover myself and know in a world where I had to leave Nigeria and I was gone for 20 years. And I returned to Nigeria, I married a Nigerian man, and I returned back to Nigeria. But while I was away, I realized, oh yeah, I'm an artist, and this is fine. And there was no judgment, and people, you know, went out to art school, but I still didn't choose to be a painter. I chose to be an architect. Why? Because it was safe. I could come back to Nigeria and say I'm an architect. I can't say I'm a dancer, you know. You know, and when I returned back 20 years later, I was shocked that people were like, oh, you know, Ego Boyo is an actress and this one is that. It still was tricky because I returned about 14 years ago. It still was tricky, but I'd come back fully as an artist and I was like, oh yeah, I'm, you know, because I'd worked in many, many, many places in different fields of art. I'd worked in advertising, trying to find myself. And many artists who have this problem where if your environment is not encouraging for you to find your expression, your purpose, you will find that you are going like this. But it's fine because you're learning in every place that you are going. And you're collecting information for the big one that you want to do. Now the question is, what is the big one that you want to do? And for me, I found that I was successful in every art field I went to because I'm a creative problem solver. And I like problems. And I was even solving problems where I had no business solving. If you came to me to say, this, my house has fallen down, or my this, or my children, I'm ready to sit down with you and start solving your problem. You know, like James Alaba shared, nobody begged me. Now, what did I have to find? I had to find that what was missing for me as an artist was the gifting element. Understanding the gifting element. And that happened for me when I became a part of the African Leadership Initiative. And people asked me, what is it you want to do for your community? And you cannot choose it unless you have such passion for it that you're ready to sleep 4 hours a night because of that thing. And I thought, I'm always bitching and moaning about Nigeria. I'm not going to bitch anymore. I'm going to find the thing I'm going to do that is going to change my environment. And I'm going to do it with my art. Because I'm an artist. So I decided theater. Theater, at the time I came back, you go to a show, there's 20 people there. Yawn, yawn, you know. And I said, no. I'm going to make theater a place where there's 1,000 people in the room. And so, for me, quality and quality entertainment is now #1 for me. And what do I feel passionate about? I'm passionate about corruption. I'm passionate about women. I'm passionate about the fact that 80 million Nigerian women are playing small. Small, because that's what works. It's not just talked about the artist being judged, the woman being judged. Be quiet, be calm, you know, whatever, you know. And the judgment is coming from women. Yeah, I mean, people say, oh, you know, your husband is eating at this time. You are not there 6 o'clock. Mr. Fafunwa has to return home. We're going, you know. I started seeing an environment where men were so pampered and women were pretending it's okay, pretending to be demure, pretending to be this, pretending to be that. It just went on and on and on and on. Pretending for their friends, pretending for their husband, pretending for their children, pretending everybody. How can you be anything great if you are so busy using all that energy to pretend? I just thought, whoa, I can't do this. So it was kind of selfish because I was like, I cannot do this one. You know, I wake up in the morning, I look after the children. I go to the, your husband is in the kitchen. You mean your husband is in the kitchen? Yeah, he's in the kitchen. You know, he's got to get himself something. I mean, warm his food. Go and make his plate. You're at the party. Your husband is sitting. Go and make the plate. Bring the plate for him. Please, but you're a woman. It has to be good. You have to be right. And I was like, oh no, I got to get out of here. I'm either going to make this thing work for me or I'm leaving. I can't do this. You know. So I married that concern to art. I could be making films though. I could be drawing pictures about it. I could be whatever. And I decided, theater. I'm going to take that on as my baby. So, true. I hardly slept doing Hear Word. It was not easy. And that's the questions they asked me here to come and talk about, not this artist thing. They asked me to talk about frustration in Nigeria, the present market condition, the quality of your product, the challenges of whatever, whatever. So, I got a few minutes left. I can talk about that now. It is not easy to be an artist in Nigeria, but it's very exciting. There's no better place than Nigeria to be an artist, I believe, in the entire world. In terms of material, it's so exciting everywhere you look. Where else in the world you go out every day and you say, now wow. Like you're shocked. Every single day you're like, you gotta be kidding me. What? You know, like that's for me. I go out, I'm like, no, she didn't. You know, you hear gist, you see things on the street. Somebody cuts in front of you, breaks the road, driving, then they turn around and then you say, beep, and they say, waka. You're like, you gotta be kidding me. You know? I mean, it's crazy. And I love it because I can write for 4 lifetimes and I can make shows and if I like, give me 10 years. You know? So what better place to be? There's also such a need and a demand for everything. Now, at the same time, it's very difficult because you got to do the 9 to 5. You have to eat. I'm lucky that my husband supports me, although recently in this economy has told me, hey, let's have a conversation about the inflow and outflow because dollar is 4 to 1. So, you know, so I'm in that space right now. But yeah, you've got to give the extra time to break a new idea. Chudi and Shola were talking about new ideas. You have ideas and you can change your business, grow your business, make a new business. But honestly, just know that the thing is going to be hard. That's the only thing I can tell you. The thing is going to be hard. Don't give up. Just keep going. If you have that clear vision, just keep going. Keep moving and change. Okay, this one didn't work. Okay, what now? You gotta find, it's hard to find a quiet place in Nigeria. I think that's why people also go to church on Sunday. It's not quiet, but you feel quiet. You just go. Yeah, you gotta have find another place also. You know, I think my husband locks himself up in the bathroom, you know, you know what I mean? Because he just wants to sit quiet for a minute because Lagos is so hectic that honestly new ideas can't come and gel. But you want to remain flexible. When I was working on this project, and I'm still working on it, it's like I hit this roadblock. Hey, I got to sit for a minute, ask people, think, how, why, who wants to see this? How do I make here word? Do I make here word for the very elite? Do I make here word for, you know, do I make here word for everybody? You know, so some even here word, the show is been translated into Yoruba and Pidgin, and you know now there's some talk about it going into French, and that type of thing. Because I wanted something for everybody. I wanted men to come there and sit there and laugh and say, yeah, see, they are talking about you. And I wanted women to say, yeah, you know, and moms to say, you know, I wanted it for everybody. And that's a good place to go, just like the man who took cowbell milk and made it into small packets. Is it Nestle? Just repackaging. You know, and that was always in my mind, like, how do I make something that everybody wants to enjoy? But it doesn't necessarily mean that has to be your thing. You can make handbags for the top 20 Nigerian women who are going to pay you ₦1 million for a handbag, you know, and that's fine. So know what you want to do and don't be going here and there. Now back to me. Now, in HearWord, in the work that I'm doing, HearWord is just one product. The company is iOpenEye, as in I open my eye. And I guess I opened my eye for myself, right? But what I wanted people to do was to come in and watch and say, you know, okay. Because my interest was corruption, women's issues, anything that I feel that we are holding ourselves back in Nigeria, that's limiting the potential of Nigeria. I wanted to showcase that. Could I have had more products by now? Absolutely yes. I could have made another 3 shows. Why haven't I? Money and help. I'm here, standing here today, that I'm looking for people to help me because I'm doing everything myself. And as they talked about collaboration, I want to collaborate. I want to collaborate. And as an artist, every artist will face that place where they say, this country is not a place of easy collaboration. Because what I realized is that I'd been working in America as an artist in big set films or whatever it was, and you know, architecture. It takes many people to build a building or make a movie. But when I came to Nigeria and I was working with people, I would do so much work because I have this perfectionist mentality. And I'd be working, and at the end, the person will come on stage and say, and then that's fine. Even I can get over that. I can get over that. Yeah, that artist ego. Yeah, I did all that work, and there she is, or there he is, taking the bow. You know? Yeah, that bothered me. Every artist, it will bother them, because it's your expression. But what bothered me more is that when I walked into offices and said, I want to do a show. My name is Ifeoma Fafunwa. I want to do a show. They were like, yeah. So someone said, nobody knows who you are. You want to do a show. You've been working on, you've been working. You get out there and you stand out there and say, hello, this is me. So next time when I come and meet you, you know it's me and you support my work. So that's important too. But we need to learn to collaborate. We need to learn to work together. I'm looking for administrative staff. I'm just making a pitch right now. I'm looking for administratives. I'm looking for a very efficient, fickle, as crazy as me on the creative side, but on the administrative side, because there's enough crazy artists in me, on the administrative side, because I find that I am checking toilet paper at the venue. I am booking tickets. I am worrying about whether there's chicken and meat on the artist's plate when they want to eat in rehearsal. I don't want to worry about that. I want to work on my thing that God has given me. So you have to balance all that. And if you are in a group already of young people, you can put young people together and make something magical happen. You can leave here today and test something. You can say, hey, I have this idea. Who can I call? Let me call this person, that person, that person. And let's just try to do something together for fun. You don't have to be the perfect thing right now. As a tester of collaboration and my artistic expression. And don't be afraid that your idea, another one won't come. As soon as you let go of that idea, another idea is coming. So trust in the process. Have the courage. Feel the responsibility to yourself and to God and to country. Feel the conviction. Know that the environment is frustrating. In other countries, artists are giving grants. In some places, they say, hey, you're an artist. How much do you need to live? Oh, your living expenses. Okay, somebody will pay for your living expenses to give you the freedom not to have to go to work just to create. We're going to get there eventually. And I know some artists who now get grants from big men in Nigeria, you know, say, okay, 6 months, for 6 months, you know, Duke or whoever artist, for 6 months here. Of course, the guy will come later on and say, okay, where's the work? And that's fine, where's the work? Let me pick the one I want, right? But that's okay. Art is giving. Creativity is sharing. It's not to stay inside you. Otherwise, we can't get anywhere. What What kind of artist are you? What is your gift? How can you do this? Who can help you? Immediately you know what you want to do. You must know what you want to do. You must know, and you must know that that is really what you are supposed to do, not what looks good on someone else. Then begin to ask, and you'll be surprised. And I pray, you'll be surprised that it will start happening, even if it's growing what you already do. Because you in Nigeria today have a responsibility, everyone does, to make the country better. That's what I truly believe. We honestly have a responsibility. Right now, the thing is bad. It was bad 10 years ago. It was bad 20 years ago. We've had 40 years of corruption and 40 years of people, accepting minimal, right? But now we're changing. And so I think you have to ask, what are you bringing to the table? Not what are you looking for? Because if you're looking for something from your creativity to come to you, it will take you longer to be successful. You have to think about what you're going to push out. Because in Nigeria, there are many people and they're hungry. So as soon as you start pushing out something of value, they will start coming to you. Okay, I have 3 minutes. I can answer questions. Yeah.